You started your police career as an IPS officer posted in Gujarat
Right.
in 1972, and you retired from there in 2007.
Right.
You spent a lot of time there. So can you tell us the changes in the society that you see as a police officer that will probably help explain what happened in 2002 or the division between the communities as we see now?
No, that is a general erosion of political values, general values of life. That had its own reflection in the land order management, public order management. What we have seen in 1970s is that there was a hangover of the high ideals of the freedom fighters, the freedom movement itself. The political interference on the system itself was almost minimal. Even if we can describe something like an intervention and interference, that was more as a persuasive methods, as maximum cajoling. The senior most even chief minister may suggest this is possible, if possibly it can be done. That has changed. That was a very degenerating trend. That is a trend which has weakened and debilitated the very criminal justice system. When the criminal justice system is weakened, the people who suffer would be the weaker sections, the inarticulate majority. I call them inarticulate majority because they have no methods of articulating their grievances. They are silent majority. They have no organization. They have no money power. They have no muscle power. They have no political linkages. This was one of the reasons for the Gujarat carnage also. Second aspect is very interesting. By steadily from 70s, 80s onwards, the political expediency and advocacy have become the guiding strategy and ground level methodology of political parties in place of ideals and ideologies. Ideologies are no more guiding. Of course, this is only for issuing the election manifestos or party congress statements, etc. Typical illustrative example is communalism. Communal groups have come up. Communal groups never got any kind of support during the 50s, 60s, 70s, etc. Gradually, communal groups have been patronized by the mainstream political parties also for petty benefits. It was a very pathetic scene that national level leaders waiting at the doorsteps of Swamijis and Mullahs and Maulavis, and as if we are waiting for a darshan of these people. This has its own reflection in the society. The moderate sections of the majority community and minority community, they had been marginalized. They never could enjoy hold on the minority and majority communities. A minor issues have been magnified, and an issue involving a personal clash between two people belonging to two communities, maybe on a money matter, many other matter, this has been communalized. Practically every issue is communalized. One officer from UP, my friend, was telling that had we permitted the circle inspector of Ayodhya to handle that problem of Babri Masjid, he would have settled it with both the communities at the ground level. But this has been nationalized, this is an internationalized. So for obvious reason, and he was telling that I can say from my own opinion, there are some such embryonic forms, some issues come up in the district. So we settle at the local level, maximum at the DSP level, or at the level of the district magistrate and SP. We call both these people. Still, at the ground level, there is a lot of respect is enjoyed by the district level officers. We can settle it. No, immediately the communal politics will set in and step in, and they make it as a major problem as it exists for years. Babri Masjid, one thing you should think over, 1527 or 28, soon after the first battle of Panipat, when Babar defeated Ibrahim Lodi, he did not defeat any Hindu king. Our Sultan at that time was Ibrahim Lodi. He was defeated. His 70% army was drawn from the Rajputs and Hindus, not from the Afghans or Muslims. At that time, of course, Afghans or Muslims became Indians. So at that time only he one of the generals supposed to have constructed this in a place where Ram temple was existing. What about the Hindus who lived from 1530 to 1992? They were not Hindus. They were not committed Rama Bhaktas. They were not having any attachment towards Hindu religion and any kind of enthusiasm of Hindu religion. Great stalwart Hindus lived. Of the greatest of the Hindus, which everybody accepted that the greatest of the 20th century Hindu or modern Hindu was Mahatma Gandhi. He had no grievance about this Babri Masjid. How these new enthusiasts of Hindus brought out this issue? This is just communalization and inciting people on a very sensitive issue. In UP and some parts I know, our minority friends belonging to Muslim community, when they greet a Hindu friend, they say Ram Ram. So that way Ram became a symbolic form of giving respect, or a respectable figure. Nobody is going to the Ram story, etc. These are the trends, and this is vastly continuing, and as a result, even all India service people, they are trying to curry favor with the politicians, and instead of merit, favoritism and nepotism become the instruments of promoting the career interests of somebody. And generally officers of late have been doing some kind of an anticipatory psychophancy. If a CM is coming, so and so CM is coming, they will study the CM's nature, what is CM's interest, what is CM's political strategy. So without himself directing these people, the anticipatory way they plan XYZ. If XYZ is CM's opponent, yes, they will try to see that this fellow can be booked in some case. Such a degeneracy is set in certain places. That is why let us not forget that in 1984, not a single police officer has given a correct testimony to the commission. 1984 riots. Of course, in 1969 riots in Ahmedabad, etc., there were some testimonies. Here also very few people have given, or not two the officers have given testimony before the Nanavati Commission, which he is still in session. And now there is a special investigation team in operation. How many officers are coming and telling the truth, which they have seen before their eyes, the degeneration in the system, political interference, how the mobs have been let loose on the helpless and helpless people. Had government wanted action against the Muslim underworld, government could have used police on 27th evening. Instead of that, what was the need for armed mobs being permitted to attack the minorities? This is the answer.
So you were Additional Director General of Police Intelligence at the time of riots of 2002. So can you tell us a little bit, give us some information, how or why the police acted the way they did, or what were the pressures on them to act or not to act in certain situations? What
I am going to tell you, these have been extensively covered in my 450 pages long affidavit to the Nanavati Commission, which is made use of by the Citizens for Justice and Peace, TISA's organization, and other organizations, probably also for fighting their cases before Supreme Court, High Court, etc. You see, the intelligence department duty is to study the subterranean developments at the incipient stage and give actionable intelligence. There is no meaning in doing a postmortem. Postmortem work is something like a crime investigation department's work. It is the work of analysis of officers. So, if advanced intelligence is given, real-time advanced operational intelligence, that is the technical term we use, then action can be taken. When I have taken over, I found that criminal justice system is totally subverted against the rule of law primarily, and that way the sufferers are the victims, minorities. Their complaints were not registered properly. Whenever complaints are given, the content of the complaints were minimized. When names are indicated in the FIR, first information report, that is complaints, these are dropped. If names are belonging to prominent people, these are given in writing. And I suggested that this is going on and this has to be immediately corrected, and otherwise it will, lawlessness will prevail. One-sided administration is going on. Criminal justice system has to be strengthened. XYZ measures have to be taken as per the existing regulations. I did not suggest any no regulations or no recommendations. I am not the person to do that. I have no authority also. There are streamlined rules, regulations, constitutional principles, court rulings, what we call the Gujarat Police Manual. Specifically, it has been laid down. In this police manual and regulations, standard operational procedure meant for constable to Director General of Police is laid down. Just like in a religious ceremony, everything is laid down, what to be done, what to be done. In a Christian church service, meant for a marriage, it is laid down, what passage has to be read, whether St. Matthew has to be read or St. John has to be read, everything is laid down. It is the case with any religious ceremony. But these have not been followed. And when this was not followed, there is a deviation from the existing structural performance of duties. Actions were also initiated. This is what I have primarily seen. I have sent a report on 24th April 2002 about this thing. When no follow-up action was taken, I have followed up with a report in middle of June, exactly on 15th. Then again I have a report on 20th August 2002 and 28th August. In between, Election Commission visited. Election Commission wanted a on-the-spot study. I was, by virtue of being the additional DGP intelligence, I was specifically called by the Election Commission. I gave a presentation and assessment which was diametrically opposite to the assessment and appraisal given by the state government. Election Commission accepted my assessment and postponed the election. These conditions are not conducive. The state government assessment was that only 80 constituencies are affected. I, with facts and figures, indicated and projected and proved that 154 assembly constituencies out of 182 were affected, so many villages were affected, etc. And this was true also. And I said that almost 2 lakhs people, or 1,70,000 odd people are in relief camps, or they are missing. They are in some other camps, they are private camps, and these are disenfranchised sections. When these disenfranchised sections are there, in real terms, many of their names are figuring in the electoral rolls. There could be extensive manipulation, extensive bogus voting. So unless this is rectified, there is no meaning in conducting election. This was accepted. I consider that in my struggle for rule of law or just performance of duties, this was a very successful, it was a successful moment. I still cherish that moment, even though it was a silver lining in the whole thing when the national body accepted. I have performed my duty as per the oath to the Constitution of India I have taken. It was some of the seniors, they deviated. It is just, I will perform a duty just like a head constable who may give a challenge to a minister if he is in a drunken condition drive a car. Minister is not given any exemption. He has to give a challenge. I have done the same thing with my seniors. Oh, my dear bosses, you are deviating from the letter, spirit and ethos of the Constitution of India and lay down structural principles.
What happened in 2002, was that a outburst by the Hindu community of things that they've been seeing over the years, or was it really a pre-planned event that took advantage of the Gujarat situation and turned into a big genocide?
Planning has been going on for a long time. In fact, the Citizens for Justice and Peace, their magazine, has predicted so many months back, when something happened in Kashmir, and for unfortunate thing, there was atrocities on Pandits. One of the Hindu militant groups leader made a public statement that Kashmir ka jawab hum Gujarat mein dega. That is one thing. And the very pattern and character of attacks and targeting, if you study, you can find that there is a tremendous pre-planning. As a police officer like me, or many people did not know which multi-store major shops or specific shops meant for selling branded items owned by Muslims or not. Bata, I never thought that Bata is owned by Muslims. Bata was attacked when banned. One or two Bata shops were banned. I thought that it is a British company, it is an old British company, somebody Indians must have purchased. No, probably some 45% of the shares are purchased by a Mehman from Mumbai. So this was the planning, and there were 6 hotels who were running with Hindu names, obvious reasons. And most of the hotels were only displaying the Hindu deity photographs. All these 6 hotels were burned. Well, after burning only, many people knew that this is owned by the Muslim leadership. There is no insignia or symbol of Muslims either in the ownership or the people who are sitting as managers. All are their interest is commercial. Naturally, hotel should come, more people should come and enjoy. So this pre-planning is definitely there, and something can be stated that why the parades, dead bodies were paraded to in Ahmedabad. This is against regulations. This parading of dead bodies of Godhra victims, so unfortunate, though ghastly, the perpetrators should have been brought to book within hours, and action should have been taken effectively. That is the best way. So tomorrow nobody will even imagine the dreams to commit such a heinous offence. Whether it happened in accident, etc., the investigation is going on. Instead of that, they wanted to magnify the vulnerability of the Ahmedabad city. It is the most vulnerable and communally sensitive city in the whole of India. And as a result of parading of dead bodies, the communal frenzy has reached the highest pitch, and what result the carnage followed was like that.
So how much you all hold the state government responsible for all this? I mean, obviously there was pre-planning and all that, but you say the intelligence was gathered probably by the Hindu groups and all that. But how much, I mean, how can we say that the government is responsible?
No, now this is a matter of sub judice also. The whole thing is before the Supreme Court, before the Nanavati Commission. In my private view, there is sufficient evidence. So they should go and study and examine each statement, each strand of evidence, nugget by nugget, then things will come out. Unless there is an extensive omission, how can this kind of a carnage take place? There are many successes like Surat. Surat in prosecution, nothing happened. In Saurashtra region, nothing happened. So this is a matter of further judicial scrutiny and study, which is undergoing thanks to the efforts of CJP and such organizations.
So as we see that whenever this situation comes up, the politics comes into play. The smallest incident is criminalized and become nationalized issue. What can the local police officer? Obviously, they are under intense pressure by the politics and by the media. So what are the steps? I mean, do you have any recommendations and suggestions that they can take to prevent that situation?
They should have a strong conscience. They should be brave enough to hold on. We are not working under the Maharajas or Nawabs. Even if you take a stand, nothing much is going to happen to you. Maximum you will be transferred from so-called post. You may get a bad posting, but you will not be posted in Sudan or Africa or somewhere. So people are not willing. People are not willing to undergo a little discomfort. I was transferred to a post under which I had no responsibility, no paper used to come. I was provided with a peon only. I was blissfully happy. I could do 2 MA degrees. Now I am holding 3 MA degrees, which I can write my name plate card was very small. Now it is a long thing. Many people go on asking which are. So this is you can take it like that. A rule of law system, regulations, departmental protective system is quite strong, but people don't want to recourse to that. Instead of there is tendency to surrender to the bosses, get petty benefits. So this is the only answer.
Thank you, Dr. RB. Thank you, RB Sreekumar, for talking to us.
I have to go for doctorate now.